what's going on, guys? This is Explicit here. I wanted to showcase this build. I'm using Rob2628's d4builds.gg Stormslide Druid. I did make a couple variations from his build guide. This build is really fun, very powerful. We're going to show you guys a Lilith kill, maybe 2 of them, and then we'll do a tier 8. I don't know what the benchmark is in the pit, so I don't know what the druids are at. I haven't been really checking on it because I haven't been running pits. I do know that it's very misproportioned on the health. Like, you can fly through a 130 and then get to the boss and like do no damage. Doesn't make sense. It's definitely different than last season. So that being said, we'll go over this build. I have some variations that I do recommend depending on your playstyle and preference. So how I have it set up here is how Rob has his setup for the most part. When I was looking at his build guide, he was using a one-hander. I'm sorry, a two-hander. I needed more damage, and so I switched so I can get an extra aspect. And then one thing I noticed, which I want to go ahead and say, during the Lilith kills that you will see, I am running this chest piece and Tibalt's Will. However, when I do my tier 8 clear, I change the pants and I change the chest piece, mainly for the extra damage reduction. Because fighting a tormented boss isn't an issue at all. Fighting Lilith, no issue at all, as long as you understand her mechanics. That's the main reason people die during that fight, is not understanding her mechanics. But when I run tier 8s, I need the extra damage reduction. So this is the setup that I would particularly run when I'm just out and about, in the open world. But when I'm bossing, I do switch to Tibalt's Will and the chest piece. So going over the gear and then showing you guys some alternatives. Vasily's Prayer, however you pronounce that. I found that the most desirable stat was willpower. And the reason for that being is it gives me almost 400 willpower with my setup. Like, if I take the helmet off, you can see my willpower is at 1713. I don't know if it shows in here. Yeah, 1713. You can see it in the small window tab too. But when I put it on, 2104. So almost, 400 willpower just from triple critting that willpower stat percentage. Max life is cool, but you can get a max life roll on different gear if you need it. The armor, just enough to get you over the cap, is fine. And the defensive posture is, we'll see that in the skill tree later, but that's basically just giving you fortified generation, and it's giving you damage reduction while fortified. So those 5 points in there are a good starting point, and then you can add points to that part of your skill tree if you need more damage reduction, or you can just put those points more into an offensive area. Oh, the aspect on here, for me, not really important. You guys can see I have almost a minimum roll, but we have other ways of getting fortify. So we hit like one time, and you can watch our fortify. Right now we're at 0 fortify. That was just one. I just casted it once, and I'm at full. So getting the aspect max is not important. I would say getting the max willpower percentage is more important. On the chest piece, I'm running willpower, spirit per second, and armor. You do need one armor roll separate from your helm to get over that armor cap. Because even if you have a GA to this, I don't know if it's enough. It could be. I'm not really sure. So we put an armor roll on our chest piece with symbiotic aspect, and that means every time that our Nature's Fury key passive triggers that free skill, which every time we cast our landslide, we're going to trigger Lightning Storm. So that means when Lightning Storm is triggered for free, that all of the non-ultimate cooldowns of the opposite type are reduced. So what you're going to see here is, you're doing your thing. I'm going to cast my Cyclone Armor, my L2. See, it's already back. It's already back. It's already back. Now when I cast my Earthen Bulwark and then cast my Lightning my Cyclone Armor, you can see that my Earthen Bulwark has a chance to reset from casting the Cyclone Armor, but it doesn't always happen because it's a 33 or 35% chance to cast that free skill. And we do have the chance to slow, and that's mainly because we want different forms of crowd control, because we have things in our board that's doing more damage against crowd controlled enemies, basically. For the gloves, unsung aesthetic wraps, you guys can farm this from Beast and Ice. I would like to get a GA to Lightning Storm, but I'm okay with this pair for now. I have the GA to crit chance, the damage to distant, obviously the ranks to Lightning Storm. If I could get that to triple crit on the Lightning Storm, that would be ideal for me. Ranks to Defiance, and then every time Lightning Storm crits, we're getting a multiplicative increased damage. And wanted to show you guys, yeah, my crit chance is at 93.4. When I put on a crit elixir, that's going to put me at 99.4. And then we have something else that's going to give us even more crit chance against certain enemies. So that's pretty much 100%. So we're 100% of the time critting. So our Lightning Storm is always dealing that multiplicative increased damage here. And then this variation using Tubalt's Will, again, every time you pop your Earthen Bulwark, you're going to be unstoppable, get a damage reduction, and deal extra damage and gain primary resource. So it's really good if you're struggling for resource, because you can just keep popping your Earthen Bulwark as much as possible. I do need a better pair of these boots, but for now this is what I have. So you want the Wild Heart Hunger boots, and you get these from Zir. And when you shapeshift from werewolf to werebear, doesn't matter which, you're gaining Wild Heart. And if you can get that max roll, you can get up to 60% because it stacks 20 times. And that's why you see mine's 2.2, only goes up to 44. And you'll see the Wild Heart at the bottom every time I shapeshift. So right now it's at 3, now it's at 4, now it's at 5. So the way I'm shapeshifting right here is I'm using Claw, and I'm using my Landslide. So that's how we're getting our stacks of Wild Heart. And it's just increasing all damage with our shapeshifting skills. So these boots are awesome for this build, because we're shapeshifting quite a lot. For the one-hander, you can use a dagger here. I believe Rob has now switched to a dagger because it comes with the implicit of damage to close. I just didn't have any daggers that I had been farming with this druid. I do have some on my rogue, but those are damage over time GAs, which doesn't really benefit the druid, so I'm still using a mace for now. Willpower, max life, crit damage, chance for landslide projectiles to cast twice, and the damage to distant roll, I would rather it be damage to close, because we already have a damage to distant on our gloves, and damage to distant plus damage to close will cap out one of your paragon nodes, the legendary nodes in the board. So ideally, get this damage to close. It would be more beneficial. I don't know how I'm -1 of 6 on my tempers. If you guys can explain that to me, that's the first piece of gear I've ever seen -1, but there it is. And then we're also putting on landslide earth pillars, each strike a second time. That's huge because we're landsliding constantly. So just getting that extra proc is also going to proc more of our lightning storms, and it's dealing bonus damage. So aftershock, really good aspect here. And then I'm running a totem with willpower, crit chance cooldown reduction, and damage to crowd control enemies. The reason I had to switch off of a two-hander, because two-handers are very nice. You can get a lot more on the aspect. The issue I was having was I couldn't get damage to crowd controlled on it, and also I wanted an extra aspect. I wanted some more multiplicative damage, so I went for putting retaliation on here, and I'm also getting that damage to crowd control roll for my temper, and another chance for landslide projectiles to cast twice. And we're always fortified. We're spamming core skills, so retaliation is pretty much always up. Running Ring of Starless Skies here, and I do have some alternatives if you guys don't have this ring. Obviously, I want a better one. I haven't been able to get a good one to crit where I want. It's all over the place every time, and I just kind of ran out of some resources. I did want to use this, but who knows? Like I still have mixed feelings about the spear, but I want to eventually make a build with that, so stay tuned for that. But for this current build, we're not gonna worry about that. But Ring of Starless Skies is giving us all desirable stats. We got attack speed, crit chance, lucky hit chance, ranks to core skills, which is going to increase our landslide and our lightning storm. And then because we're spamming resource skills, we're going to get that 50% multiplicative increased damage pretty constantly. So that helps out. If you guys don't have this ring, you can use, this is the Malignant ring from Season 2 that basically brought back the Malignant Heart power of Season 1. And this is when you cast an ultimate, it pulls people in, does crazy damage to them, and then 5 seconds later it does it again. Plus it gives you that ultimate cooldown reduction, which makes it to where you can spam your ultimate more often. And it comes with a damage to close roll. So you could potentially, rework your tempers and be capped and be able to put a crit roll somewhere if you use this ring. So if you use this ring, you can alter your gear and get even more crit damage, basically. But because I'm not using it, I'm not going to go that route. You guys can see the current bonus because it's based off your willpower. That's 2,104% multiplicative increase to that static number. So if you get a 9,000 roll on this ring, it can get pretty crazy. And if you don't have that ring, you can use Mjolnir's ring. The only reason that I'm not using this, because trust me, I would if that aspect was maxed. Because it comes with crit chance, comes with willpower, and that Endless Tempest is okay, but mainly it's when your Cataclysm is active, unlimited spirit, and deal increased damage. Now, if I was at the 100%, I want you guys to see, just keep an eye on my triangle. So my ultimate is still active, and I already have it back. So if I had that other ring on, right now I'm doing 100% multiplicative increased damage, and then I just cast it again, and I'm still doing 100%. This whole time is 100%. So it's double the power of Ring of Starless Skies. Literally double. However, I only have a 40%. So that's the main reason that I'm not using this at the moment. And if you don't have either one of these, which you can farm both of these rings, I believe this one farms from Varshan, and this one you can farm in the new, the Hordes, and get it from the chests at the end. But if you don't have either one of those, you could use a ring that just willpower, max life, preferably crit damage, crit chance somewhere in there. I have the Earth critical strike chance. The Petrify cooldown would obviously be changed for Cataclysm. I was using this when I was running a Trample Steam build when I was leveling, but you can still use one of these rings. And then for the aspect, you could put another damage multiplier, something like Changeling. And the way Changeling works, or that aspect works, is while you're in Werebear form, you deal up to 55% multiplicative increased damage to poisoned enemies. And everybody we hit is going to be poisoned because we're spamming so much. And we have a legendary node in our Paragon board that's going to give us poison. So you can run that as well. You do need this Earthbreaker to make this build work. I don't have a great one, but it's not terrible. Got some crit chance for landslide, projectiles to cast twice, your earth attack speed, ranks to landslide, and then every time you cast landslide, you're leaving behind those spikes that deal damage. And then spawning a landslide pillar within those spikes, it has a chance to spawn 2 of them. So that's a pretty much, I believe, a must for this build to work. You need Earthbreaker and the Unsung Aesthetic Wraps. You can get by without these boots until you find them, and then I showed alternatives for these, which I'll swap them out and explain why I make the choices I make. And then the helm, this helm you can get from 2 different people, I believe. You can get it from Varshan and Zir, or it's Varshan and Beast. I think it's Varshan and Zir, but you can get this in 2 places. It might even be Grigori. But I do know you can get it from Varshan and somebody else, so it's not an issue getting this helm. Then we're running natural balance on our amulet. My amulet's movement speed, cooldown reduction, chance to make enemies vulnerable, chance to stun, and then another damage to crowd control, temper. The aspect itself, every time we cast a storm skill, our earth skills gain increased critical strike damage. And then when we cast the earth skill, our storm skills get the extra critical strike chance. But we don't need the critical strike chance, as I already showed you guys, you know. But that's how we're always at 100% no matter what. So I can technically drop some of my crit chance rolls. Like I could re-roll this crit chance for max life, you know what I mean? Because we're always going to be at 100%. The main thing is though, so we're casting our earth skill, giving our storm skill a crit, and then when we pop our cyclone armor, now all of our earth skills are going to be dealing, because we know that that's going to crit. It's 100%. So now that that has critted, you know, we have that increased multiplicative damage. The increased multiplicative damage to the earth skills just from casting our cyclone armor. And we can spam that cyclone armor so that even though it's only for 4 seconds, it's up 100% of the time, because we get our cyclone armor within 4 seconds every time. You know, pop everything, it gets even crazier. All right, so that's the gear setup, guys. I definitely need a better amulet. I do want to say that the reason I haven't finished masterworking this is I'm still looking for one that has either ranks 2 Envenom or ranks to another damage multiplier. In the spirit boon section, we have wariness, and that's going to just give us 15% reduced damage from elites. Pretty standard. Here you can put attack speed, crit strike damage, or if you need more health, you can go max life. I'm going the max life route for now. Let me slow down when I say that. Mainly because in the tier 8 hordes is why I have more max life. If I'm just bossing tormented bosses and Lilith, then I go for the attack speed. We obviously don't need the crit chance. We're already capped. And then in the third section, we're using energize, and that's just to give us more spirit, because this is a spirit hungry build, basically. We're not running companions, so we don't need pack leader. We have way too much fortify. Like I said, 1 cast, fortifies up, boom, done. So we don't need fortify. You could use the duration of ultimate skills. That's personal preference. It just means that your lightning storm, not lightning storm, sorry, your cataclysm is going to be on the battlefield longer. And then for the last one, calm before the storm is getting us our cataclysm back. That's how we're getting that reduction so fast on our ultimate. That's how we're allowed to have our ultimate active and it's already off its cooldown. So we can spam it, you know, basically as soon as it's over or even during it. But if you spam during it, it's not going to cast 2 instances. It's just going to extend what you already had going. So if you're struggling for life, use masochistic, because this is going to heal you, you know, up to 75% chance. It's a lucky hit, but because we're critically striking every single hit, that life regeneration is pretty good. And this is only if you're struggling for survivability. For the most part, you're going to be running before Calm of the Storm. And then moving on to our skill tree. 1 point in the claw, going into the attack speed. You need 2 points, but I still actually leave this on my bar. It's just an easy way to proc the shape-shifting from werewolf to werebear, back and forth. We have another way to do that, but against bosses, it's not up all the time. But against enemies, it's constantly up. But I use claw against bosses just to get that shape-shifting proc for those boots. And then you do want to take wild impulses, even though it's costing more spirit, it's dealing more damage. Landslide, you just need 1 rank in the landslide. It's just to proc the lightning storms. I do put a point into Enhanced Landslide because you can get that immobilize against them. So currently with our gear setup, we have a chance to slow, chance to stun, and this immobilize right here. And the main damage dealer of this build is Lightning Storm. So you want to put all your points into here. Some people say, you know, use Harlequin Crest so you can get another 4 ranks to it. No, because Harlequin Crest has to take the place of Ashley's Prayer, which this also makes the build because we need those Earth skills to be Werebear skills. So you don't want to use Harlequin Crest for this build. But then we're taking it all the way up to getting an extra lightning strike. And based off of our gloves, it also gains an extra strike. So it works really well, synergizes really well. We're taking Earthen Bulwark. This is giving us Unstoppable. And we're not taking this because Broken Bulwark is dead. That died in Season 1. I've tried to remake that build every season since, and Blizzard they fixed the bug. That was the unintentional damage that made that build so broken. But since it's fixed, we don't take that. And I showed you guys the Fortify we don't need, so we can save a point, and we don't need to spend a point in either one of these. So just Unstoppable is good. 1 point in the Cyclone Armor. It's mainly just, you know, it causes that damage reduction every time we use it, and we're constantly spamming it, which is also going to allow us to get sometimes a free Earthen Bulwark. And sometimes when we pop our Earthen Bulwark, we get the free Cyclone Armor, so you want to have these two together. This is Blood Howl right here, and this is what I was talking about earlier. So when you kill an enemy, it reduces the cooldown of Blood Howl. So when you're fighting groups, Blood Howl is constantly up, and you're healing yourself, and you're also increasing your attack speed, and it's great. And you're shape-shifting, so you're going from werebear to werewolf, werebear to werewolf. The downside is against a boss, you're not killing the boss to reduce the cooldown. Hence why I keep Claw on my toolbar so I can still shape into a werewolf at any time I want to get that extra proc of Wild Heart Hunger Boots. But when you're fighting regular enemies, this is great. So having both is good because it constantly is going to heal. 1 point into here, and then 3 points into Vigilance. And this is just giving us damage reduction every time we cast one of these skills, which we're spamming them pretty frequently. So that works out really well and synergizes. In this section, all you need is Nature's Reach. And this is what I meant earlier when I was saying that we're always doing extra damage to a CC'd enemy, basically, because it's double the bonus if they're slowed, stunned, immobilized, or knocked back. Well, we have slow on our chest piece, we have immobilize on our amulet, or stunned on our amulet, and then we have immobilize from our landslide. So that's how we're getting double that bonus every time, so 30%. I have 1 point into here, 1 point into here for the duration. I used to run this with 2 points, so it was 3 of 3, like 2 more points, but I went for a little bit more tankiness with my current setup. By all means, you can do this, but I can honestly take this point and this point out and still be fine. Just to show you guys, like, I'll cast my ult, pop some of my other stuff, and if you watch my ultimate, I have it back, but it's still active. Now I can pop it again. You know, and that cooldown is literally just coming from Calm Before the Storm. So if you want it to last longer, you can. I just have the 5% in there so I could spend points in a little areas that suited my playstyle. Mending, you get more healing while you're in werebear form, but the main thing is that increased max life, 12% multiplicative. So it's just more survivability. Crushing Earth, we only take 1 point into here. You can make a case to take these 2 points out and put them into here. Earth skills deal 15% increase damage to slowed, stunned, or mobilized or knocked back enemies, which for bossing I would recommend putting your points into here. And this is all going to be because of our Nature's Fury aspect. Let me go ahead and cover that, actually. So obviously we cast an earth, we have a chance to get the storm. We cast the storm, we get a chance to get the earth. But the second part is the free skills count as earth and storm. So all of our free lightning storms that we're getting while we're using landslide now become earth skills as well. So this is more damage, longer duration of your ultimate. So honestly, for this next run, I'm going to do this because it's going to give us more damage against the bosses. And then Stone Guard, we're always fortified, well over our 50%. So you're constantly getting this multiplier as well. And that also is going to count for your free procs of Lightning Storm. So you do want this in your build. And we're critting 100% of the time. And this is also how we're getting our Fortify. I believe if I take this off, one strike. Did you see the Fortify? It went up about 25%. 1 point is all you need. I'll wait for that to go all the way down. But you only need 1 point into that because with the 100% crit chance, guess what, guys? One, done. So that's why we take 1 point into there. And then we have Neurotoxin, and this is, slowing everybody that gets poisoned, which is good. Another CC. But then we really want Envenom, and that's the 30% multiplicative bonus critical strike damage. If we can get ranks to that on our amulet, awesome. But even if you only have it at 3, you're still going to be fine. And then moving on to the ultimate section, we're taking Cataclysm all the way. Cataclysm, duration is increased, and then the chance, or it makes them vulnerable for 6 seconds. And then while casting Cataclysm, you have a 35% chance to get Petrify for free. So that's always cool. Defiance, ranks from this come from the gloves. And also, you put 3 into here, and then put 3 into Natural Disaster. Remember, all of our storm skills that are casted from Landslide are earth skills also. So you're getting both of these bonuses. You can run this as well. You just have to... It becomes clunky. Let me just say this. It becomes clunky running Resonance because you have to, constantly switch back and forth. And sometimes you don't want to do this over and over. Sometimes you just want to spam Trample or Landslide. So you can run that, but it's not up 100% of the time. And then Quick Shift right here is giving us increased damage. I really want to find an amulet that has ranks to this as well, because that's just raw damage coming out, and we're constantly shape-shifting, which is also giving us more damage reduction and movement speed because we're always shape-shifting into both forms. So this helps out a lot. These 5 points are coming from the Helm, Vasily's Prayer, so I didn't need any points into that. And then again, we're running the Nature's Fury. And on to our Paragon board. So in the first board, we're just coming up, grabbing some max life, and we're grabbing Spirit. This is giving us more critical strike damage and increasing the damage they take from us, and we crit 100% of the time, so every enemy is going to be taking that extra damage from us. Grabbing all the dexterity nodes to make that work up this route. And in this board, this is how we're making everything poisoned. Constricting Tendrils. So all of our nature magic skills have a chance to entangle the enemy and poison them. So this is how we're getting our poison, guys. We're not using Toxic Claws because this is going to be proccing more than you think. Even though it's a lucky hit chance, the fact that there's that many landslide and tectonic plates and lightning strikes, storms going off, this is going to be up pretty much 100%. Down here on the way to it, you do want to grab some damage to crowd control so you can reach the cap in one of the Paragon nodes later. And then some nature magic damage. Going up to Earth and Sky, this is a good place to put this board, this glyph, because it's giving 150% to magic nodes. Well, life. So it's good to just put it here, you get more life, and you also get additive damage to your nature magic, which is fine. Going up to this board, this is going to be Thunderstruck. And you can see my damage to close, damage to distant is already capped. So I'm able to reach that 60% here. And we're picking up some more max life. Don't worry about the lightning resistance. You probably don't need it. But if you do, there it is. But it's mainly for the life. And some more damage to crowd control, some more crit damage. And then in here we're putting Fulminate. And all of our lightning storms are going to be dealing increased damage to healthy and injured enemies. So you're gonna see that it melts them at the beginning, and it continues to melt though. But then when you get towards the end, it's even more. So that works really well. Going into this board, this is the Inner Beast board, but we're just gonna come up here, grab some life. If you need some armor, you can swap those around just depending on how your armor cap is looking. And this is Dominate. So again, I'm using the variation of Rob's build. I'm trying to think of ways that I can maybe take this off and put something else on, but the fact that it's Intelligence, I could put Bane here, but all that's going to do is double the amount of duration of the poison. But because this is an Intelligence area, like, there's really nothing else to put. Damage while healthy, that's just additive. Yeah, so, and then Protector is just, if you need some damage reduction, you could do that. But with the bonus of 20, the bonus to rare nodes, we're not even using a rare node in this section. So, I believe the reason Rob put that there is just, it's still more damage when you do overpower. And because the intelligence, it was very minimal that you had to invest in this area. And then coming up to all this attack speed right here. And then going out to survival instincts. This is the life difference between you and the enemy. So more than not, you're going to be at full life, and as their life is draining, you're dealing more and more and more damage to them. And that's why I say with this glyph and that node, you're going to start to see their health just shoot down really fast, because their health is getting lower and lower, and then this kicks in. So, and then here it's Werebear. Damage while in Werebear form, damage reduction while in Werebear form. A lot of damage reduction in this build. More armor while in Werebear form. And then coming back out down here, this is the Earth and Devastation. This is where you need your damage to crowd control. And without having it on my gear, I didn't really have much or many options to add more. Because see, it's just critical strike damage. I pretty much picked up all the damage to crowd controlled except these two. 1, 2 right here. Yeah, it's just this one and this one. But just to show you guys, like, let's say now I was on my two-hander. Even with those two, only at 52%. So I needed another damage to crowd controlled roll to make it work. And that's why I had to switch. Another reason I had to switch anyways. Not the only reason. I also wanted that extra multiplier for the aspect, but I had to get another roll of damage to crowd controlled. I have it, on the amulet, and then on here, plus the paragon board, got me over the cap. I'm gonna come in here, pop our Earth and Bulwark, pop our ultimate, and then we're gonna, I already hit her with the claw. I don't know if you guys saw that. So she got away. We gotta dodge this triangle attack. Because she got away, she's going to do her triangle attack right here. There it is. Dash to the middle. If you guys have an issue dodging that one, it's always a triangle. Find the side of the triangle, and as soon as she lands, dash to her. Because on the triangle sides are going to be her little waves. But once she lands, she can't hit you anymore. So, I'm going to pop our Earth and Bulwark. We're going to pop our Claw. There we go. Ah, she did get her boils out, and I just realized, though, guys, she got her boils out, but I didn't use my ultimate. I could have used my ultimate and put that extra DPS on her. But we might be okay. Oh, no, yeah, she got him out. That sucks. Well, I wanted to show you guys that whole skip on that part. I'll probably put the clip of it at the end of the video if you guys want to stick around for that. Because it was the first time I had ever done it on Druid. I had done it on Sork, I had done it on Barb. Me and my buddy, we were both on our rogues, we did it. Mainly because of him. He has an amazing rogue build that he's doing. And yeah, I mean, that's the Lilith fight, guys. With Druid. You know, very easy. All right, guys, we're going to do a tier 8, and I do want to say when I run tier 8s, I pull these willpower off, and I throw on some rubies for the extra life. Because we're getting that 12% multiplicative increased life in our skill tree. Skill tree. From mending. On top of me running the 20%, it's just going to help out our survivability a whole lot. We can also, again, use attack speed. So this is a personal preference, whether you want more life or more attack speed. I probably could do more attack speed and try it. And if it feels like we're struggling in there, we can change that.
Let's have a look.
So let's go ahead and craft an 8. Let's craft a couple of them just in case. Fuck it. And let's go ahead and pop it. So when I do runs in the tier 8, again, switching the gear, switching the gems, personal preference, but I feel that I'm getting one-shotted and I'm really squishy if I use this setup with the chest piece on the right and the Tibalt's Will. I do feel like I'm squishier, and then obviously with the health gems over the willpower. So it does drop my willpower significantly, you know, but it is what it is. Currently don't have an elixir popped or an incense. I should pop an elixir. I don't have any incense crafted on this character at the moment, so So this is with the extra attack speed. I do think after this run, I'm going to switch it back to max life because I'm popping more potions than I should be in here. Way more than I normally do. So we're gonna make that change. And this is good to run this, so that way you can see where your build's at and what you need for the build, because a build guide isn't always set exactly how you have your gear. Sometimes it's hard to find it. So it looks like out of these, we're going to definitely go with Exalted. Exalted Hordes, yeah. So now that we have a little bit more max life, I shouldn't have to pop as many potions as I did last time. Hey, we got the Hellborn. Let's go. This may be a good run. If we can get Invigorating Hellborn, or, that one, that would be good too, just to give us more cooldown and more attack speed. But we only pick that one if it's the only choice. Like, the only thing related to Hellborns, then we pick that. But if we have the option between that and any of the other Hellborns, we want more ether on Hellborn kill. At least I say I do. When I say we, I mean the way me and my friends play. We're always going for the max amount of ether we can get. My personal best is only 1,248, and that was on the Lightning Spear Sorcerer. So. Which I think I'll do a showcase of my Sorc next. That'll probably be the next video I make. And then from there we'll go to the Rogue. And then we'll go on our Barbarian. And we'll do Necromancer last because right now it's my weakest. It's my weakest tune. But I'm also interested in going live streaming the Necro so I can get some feedback from anybody in chat that maybe could give me some advice of why my Blood Surge Necro doesn't hit as hard as others, or should I switch, start using the Morticrux and try a build with that, or go to the Bone Spirit build. I believe I have gear for all of those to work, so I may do that on a live stream. See if we can get some interaction with people that have played Necromancer. So if you guys do want to see that live, let me know in the comments, and I'm more than happy to do it. It's just that currently is my weakest class. So we're definitely going to use this, but I do want to pop an elixir. Do I have one set? No. I guess we just do the crit. We don't care about the crit chance. I'm already at 100, but we do care about the damage, so it's just an extra. Attack speed would be better. I just don't have any on me currently. Forgot to craft them. I'm sure you guys can see though on the ultimate, if I did have a better roll of that Mjolnir ring, that we'd be constantly dealing 100% multiplicative increased damage. Because our ultimate is pretty consistent. Oh, this choice right here is trash. Soul Spire, Mass. That's garbage, and now it's gonna reinforce them wanting to give me more masses, probably. Anything but the Soul Spires, I guess. As they give them back to back, because I said the word. There we go. Let's get some more Hellborn in here. A Surging Hellborn. So we're going to pick this one over Burning Rain. However, let's say that this wasn't an option. And this, this would be the best one to get. Because Hellfire gives you a chance to get the Hellfire spawns Hellborn. Only if you pick it first, though. But when Surging is an option, personal preference, I always go for the Surging. All right, perfect example. So while this is good, we're already going for Hellborns, right? So we already have Hellborns granting +3 and +1 when they spawn, you know what I mean? So because we're already at wave 7 going into 8, we don't want this because this is going to reinforce them to start trying to give us elites, but we want Hellborn, 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 Hellborn. So Hellfire, and then hopefully next wave they're going to give us the option, or even the last wave they'll give us the option to have the Hellfire spawn Hellborns. And I don't know if you guys noticed, I kind of like deprioritized the Hellborns because they will just keep following you even after the timer. But a lot of these events disappear when the timer's up, so I kind of go for the events. The Hellborn are going to be taken care of at the end. But the more Ether Fiends, the more masses I can destroy, it's just adding slightly more Ether. Because the Hellborns, they will stick around. Alright, so we got shitty ones here. These are all shitty. Well, looks like we're gonna take this and at least be invigorated for the boss fight. That's definitely gonna help us take down the boss faster. Look at that ultimate. Because we're invigorated, it cut that cooldown in half. Because normally it's 40 seconds ish, and now it's just starting at 19 every time I pop it. So even though the invigorated Hellborn thing says it only does attack speed, it definitely does cooldown reduction too. An item just dropped. That was weird. So not the greatest run for Ether. I would definitely, with this character in particular, I would be farming 7s to get more Ether. But I just wanted to showcase that it's got enough power to do tier 8s. And in group play, you know, even better. Now this isn't the fastest clear you'll see with a druid, but with the gear changes I made, it's safer. Let's put it that way. Oh yeah, once he gets stunned, let's go. Oh, he moved on me. I wasn't paying attention. And remember, guys, what I had to take out. Oops, I had to take out the willpower gems for the health. If willpower would have been socketed, I deal way more damage, but I'm more likely to get killed. And then we change out pants and the chest piece. But that's almost. Jeez, that is just crazy single target damage. It's not as big of numbers as your rogue, but it's consistent. Just
Yes, yeah, you can tell it's like consistent damage the way it melts the bar down. Like you know how like some builds you can see it kind of like chunk it little by little, and then like that it just like shreds it down. It's cool. I that's pretty cool to me. So if that's the 8K build, is that like the Pack-a-Punch 8K build, or what are we calling this? Because
I did it.
that's
I did it.
pretty crazy, man.
I did it. There's no boils. I did it. With the druid. Yeah, there's no blood boils. Cool. Now I want to do this with all of my characters and try to get it to where, I mean, we know the rogue can do it. Now we know the druid can do it. I want to do this on the sork and the necro and the barb.
I'm attempting it on my barb right now.